Hey, last week and this week on my video blogs, I talked about my Pokemon Platinum review and what exactly it's going to entail. It's going to be two parts. Part 1, the story and the gameplay and just general talking about it. And Part 2 is going to have to be a little ways down the road, a couple weeks, maybe a couple months. But the point is, it's time to review the first part of Pokemon Platinum. Last week I did indeed finish the gym badges and the Elite Four and all that, so the story's done, as far as I know. So let me review it. If you've never played a Pokemon game before, which I'm kind of curious why you're watching Pokemon Platinum review, but whatever. If you've never played a Pokemon game before, it is simply boils down to this. You're a youngin'. You love Pokemon. You wish you had your own to start off going on your adventure. And, actually, that brings me to an interesting thought I just had. Who in their right mind would let their, 10 or 11 or 12-year-old child take a wild animal and go wander the countryside? Wow. That's bad parenting. Whatever, moving on. Sorry about that little crazy thought. But essentially, yeah, you get a Pokemon from, one of the professor of the region, in this case, the Sinnoh region. And your job is basically going out and catching Pokemon, seeing Pokemon, researching them, having fun training them, experiencing life with your new little critter. That's the main idea. I mean, you catch them, you go to gym badges as you get to towns, cities, get gym badges, get enough, you go to Elite Four, and these super awesome trainers, fight them, battle them, win them, you become the champion, and then you can either redo everything or restart the game or catch all the Pokemon, see all the Pokemon, train your Pokemon, all that. That's the premise of the story and the gameplay, basically. Now, for Pokemon Platinum, it takes place in the Sinnoh region, like I explained. A couple of things. Story-wise, it's kind of carbon copied off of, Pokemon, basically. Not much has changed. I mean, you still go around with the gym badges. You still go around in Elite Four. You still have to fight some, megalomaniac, person in charge of this, crazy arch rival villainry, team or organization trying to take away, Pokemon and change the world. Which brings me to the idea of Team Galactic. Personally, I feel they're just carbon copies of Team Aqua and Team Magma, if I remember if that's their names from Ruby and Sapphire. And really, I feel that the only ones that were really worth mentioning and memorable, Team Rocket. They're not trying to destroy the world like Team Galactic is. They're not trying to, change the world, making more water, making no water like in Ruby and Sapphire. They're out to capture everyone's Pokemon, control the world. I think, they've got the best villainry kind of thing, arch enemy, villain, evil plan doer kind of thing going on. Moving on. Personally, I didn't care about Team Galactic. They're people in my way, really. There were some things that I found interesting. Graphically wise, it's definitely the best looking Pokemon game out there. I found the distortion world to be rather interesting, and I wish they would have implemented it more often than what they did. I mean, it's just, I think you can return to it after Elite Four, but before that, you just, you don't even encounter it until towards the very end of the story, and I think they should have implemented it at various points in the game. So there are very interesting things that they implement. Graphically, it's definitely enhanced. They've, there's a lot to talk about story-wise, but I mean the story is basically the same thing. Um, if I had to rank the story uh, on a basis of each generation, the first generation being red and blue and yellow, second gold, silver, crystal, third ruby, sapphire, emerald, and now diamond, pearl, and platinum for fourth. I'd say in terms of memorability, if that's even a word, being more memorable and probably more nostalgic, it's going to have to be number one is the first generation, two the second, third the fourth, and fourth the third. I mean, that's kind of backwards thinking, but that's how it is. I mean, this is better than ruby and sapphire and emerald by long shots, I think. And it's probably just because, the DS hardware is a little bit more advanced than the Game Boy Advanced. But moving on, gameplay is simple. Nothing's changed too much. I mean, there's a lot of new Pokemon moves, a lot of new things that, for me, jumping into the fourth generation was a little bit confusing. So I didn't recognize a lot of techniques, although it's not that hard to, get adapted to it and, used to it. So, if you haven't played a fourth generation Pokemon game, be in for a bit of a learning curve. Although it's not much of one. If learning curve is probably the completely wrong way of putting it, since it's pretty damn easy. I mean, it's a Pokemon game; it's not that hard. There's a lot more to talk about this game. This little bundle has tons to talk about, and most of it, sadly, I'm gonna have to save for the second part of my review, since I'm still exploring and I'm still doing things. I guess in closing, it's about a 24-hour, it actually took me 27 hours. About a 24, 27-hour kind of range for the hours you're going to be putting in for the main story. Assuming you backtrack and you get all the items you want and things like that. I thought it was a good story. I enjoyed it. Some things I felt were just carbon copied, and they could have improved upon it. I know I wanted to throw this in this particular review. Pokemon design. First generation, loved practically all the Pokemon. Second generation, I enjoyed a lot of them. Some of my favorite Pokemon were from the first and second generation. Third, I started to notice a trend where they're kind of running out of ideas, I think, and they're looking towards more realistic animals and plants, and it's stupid. And definitely, Pokemon Platinum hits the low on that. Most animals look like penguins or monkeys or turtles. Squirrel, I'm not really talking about that. I don't really know what you know what, there's a freaking skunk Pokemon, and I thought that's utterly stupid. Yeah, I've got some complaints about the designs of some of the newer Pokemon, but, then again, some of them are really cool looking, so I guess they're not out of ideas yet. But I just wanted to throw that in there because that was a complaint that I had initially over the fourth generation. Not necessarily Pokemon Platinum in general, but they still have Pokemon that I enjoyed, and I went through the game and I had fun. So, if you're a fan of my reviews, I hate giving scores. And I say this every time I review a game. This time, it's going to be out of 5. I'm going to give Pokemon Platinum for the story and gameplay and design aspect 4 out of 5. That's not that bad, considering that the two higher ones, a 4.5 would be like Gold, Silver, and Crystal, and a 5 would be completely the first generation, without a doubt. Even though this may be more graphically enhanced, it's not as... you gotta have nostalgia. That's why I think Final Fantasy VII, and I didn't mean to throw that in here with a Pokemon review, that's why some games that I like that are probably not as good, graphically as others. Nostalgia, you gotta have it. Platinum may have it, once upon a time or somewhere down the road, but right now it doesn't, so I'm giving this game a 4 out of 5. Stay tuned for my part 2 of Pokemon Platinum review sometime in the next few weeks.